Welcome and thank you for joining our investor presentation for CommunityLeader Incorporated, known as CLI. My name is Patrick Steele and my firm US Capital is assisting CLI in their current equity capital raise, which we'll be discussing further. But before we get started, please take a moment to read the following disclosure, which outlines and discusses the risks associated with investing in private securities. Thank you. A little background on the firm. US Capital was formed in 1998 by Jeffrey Sweeney, who is still active as our CEO and managing partner. From our home office in San Francisco and satellite in New York City, we provide a full slate of investment banking services to small and mid-sized businesses, lending and providing equity capital of approximately $300 million annually. Our client, CLI, was formed in 2012 and is categorized as a financial technology and services company that provides broker-dealers, intermediaries, and producers the ability to market their private company offerings to their investors in a cost-effective, compliant, and user-friendly format. Now a little bit of word about Joseph I'd like to introduce you to. He is the founder and CEO of CLI, and you will discover a couple of things about him rather quickly. One, he is one of the most knowledgeable individuals when it comes to the rules and regulations governing the sale and distribution of private securities. And as I think you'll discover, he has a real passion for his business. Joseph?
Thank you so much, Pat. It's a joy to be here. Thank you to everybody who's joined us online today and those of you that are listening to the archive as well. CommunityLeader is a software and service company. We design, develop, and build online digital platforms for the solicitation, sale, and support of private and exempt securities. Over the last 15 years, I've had an opportunity to work with literally hundreds of businesses as they seek out the capital that they need to grow. And for far too many of them, this process has been extraordinarily difficult. Private capital markets have a very fickle appetite, constantly changing, and if you don't have the right people, you don't come from the right zip code, you don't have the right business that of the jour of the day, you're constantly on a treadmill of an undercapitalized business. Fortunately, I had an opportunity about 6 years ago to watch how excited folks were about the online crowdfunding of Kickstarter and Indiegogo, where people were literally willing to make donations to help businesses grow. And I knew there had to be an opportunity there for the solicitation and sale of an actual security. After all, why be a donor if you could be an owner as well? So I met with the other co-founders like Rick Weintraub, a very senior securities attorney, over 450 private securities transactions under his belt. Jennifer Ames, who had taken C.H. Robinson Worldwide public, a technology expert with a real specialization in data integration and the use of data to integrate disparate systems. And we started unbundling what it would take to actually solicit and sell securities online, even before it was legal, even before there was a law that would open up this market. We started unbundling. What would it really take from an operational perspective? What would it take from a business development perspective? What would it take from a software and service perspective to support all of these issuers, all of these businesses, all of the intermediaries that were involved in the private security space? What we built is in front of you on the screen today. It's a fully integrated ecosystem of software driven by a transaction engine, Opacista, you can see it in the bottom, and then wrapped with the essential services necessary to really do this, from crowd clearance and crowd trade for compliance, crowd signature for the data rooms and the auto generation of documents and distribution of documents, crowd pay for the financial service, for the escrow, for moving the money, crowd IRM for the metrics of analytics, of tracking the investor acquisition strategies. All of these are our private brands, our private labels, in order to provide a fully integrated solution to the market. What really made us different was that we didn't approach this purely as a software solution or purely as a website or purely from an issuer's perspective or just about raising capital. We looked at who the essential stakeholders in the market were: the regulators, the issuers, the investors, and most important to us, because they would become our customers, the intermediaries. And we said, what were the essential services that they would need if they were going to participate in a global private securities marketplace? And then we delivered a solution to meet each of their respective needs. When you look at that fully integrated solution in relationship to the other competitors in this fantastic growing market, you see that we've pulled together a uniquely integrated solution which can really serve all of the different stakeholders and really support CommunityLeader software becoming the investment operating system for the new digital marketplace. Since we were founded in 2012, we have worked iteratively with clients. During this beta period, we have co-designed and co-developed our software with over 140 clients, nearly $200 million raised actively online by those clients, 27 current active portals soliciting and selling securities, not just in the United States, but around the world. All we're missing is you. What we need now is to come out of beta and come to market. We need to ramp up our business development strategies so that we can start providing this service, not just to the cutting edge early adopters, but to the mainstream providers, broker dealers, and intermediaries that are ready to start soliciting and selling their securities in a digital marketplace. Our current investment opportunity provides you an opportunity to buy into a preferred equity position into a fintech company as an equity player as we grow. You can see from our use of funds that over 70% is going directly to market development, sales and marketing, and the production and operations team needed to service those new clients. The CommunityLeader co-founder team of myself, Jennifer, and Rick, supplemented by David Strong, our Chief Operating Officer, is enhanced by the professionals that have been brought to the table by U.S. Capital Partners, Steve Diamond, Jeffrey Sweeney, and James Beatty, to really provide a fully integrated leadership team with significant experience in not only financial services and technology, but in the business of business development, of how to grow this successful business. So I really appreciate you taking the time to hear our story and look at all of the material on our website, our ebooks and our white papers, our marketing material, view our sample clients, and really dig into the investment opportunity available at the U.S. Capital Partners website. They've done an incredible amount of due diligence on us, and it's available to you. We'd really like for you to join us in this next stage of development of the business and come on board as an investor. Pat?
Yes, Joseph, thank you for that. We had a couple of questions I thought you might be able to answer very quickly. One, how did you come by the name CommunityLeader?
Oh, it came to me in a dream. No, actually, when we looked at this market and what was going to be needed to be successful, and we were focusing on these different stakeholders of the issuers, the investors, and the intermediaries, we realized that through their participation in this new emerging marketplace, each of them would become leaders of their respective communities. They would each, by participating with us, become a leader of their community. And we hoped, by working with them collaboratively, we would emerge as a leader in the capital markets community as well.
Excellent. What are the top 3 reasons that you think CLI is better than the other competitors in your space?
You bet. I'm glad there's so many competitors in this space. It's a huge, exploding market, over $1.4 trillion in the private capital markets in the United States alone. There is more than enough for companies with different approaches, different perspectives. What makes CommunityLeader unique? Number 1 is we are a fully integrated solution. Number 2 is that we are scalable and configurable to match unique business models. And number 3 is we have the experience. So first, a fully integrated single source solution. Our clients don't want to have to become experts in the technology, in the 15,000 unique steps that are necessary to solicit and sell a security online. They don't want to have to rebuild or patch together disparate systems. They want one place that they can go to fully operate a digital marketplace in their own brand, and CommunityLeader is uniquely positioned to provide that single source solution. The second is our scalability and our ability to be configured to unique business models. This market is far too young for a service provider to tell people how to do it. Each of the new community leaders in this space, whether it be Thor Equities and Real Estate or U.S. Capital Partners as a broker-dealer, has their own unique business model. Crude Funders, which was one of the first to do crowdfunding for oil in Texas, they have their own unique business model, and CommunityLeader is configured to be flexible enough to match each of their business models. And the third is the experience and expertise. We have been in this market since before it was a market. When I first talked with Rick Weintraub about this space, he almost laughed and said, "You have no idea how many laws that's going to violate." And we said, yes, but we believe that the laws and the regulatory market will change and that there inevitably is going to be an opportunity. So we've been here since day one. We have an incredible amount of experience. We know what works, we know what doesn't work, and we know how to make your investment successful.
Joseph, thank you. By way of a quick wrap-up, first of all, thank you all for joining us today. Excuse the background. We'll have a full demonstration of CLI's platform next Wednesday, May 25th at 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll follow up with an invite. That will also include a link to our digital platform, which, as Joseph alluded to, was designed by CLI. So we're not only a banker, but we're their client. Now, for those of you that wish to stay on, we're going to answer 6 or 7 other questions that have come in from the audience. If not, again, thank you so much. Craig, first question.
Thank you. Here we are in GoToWebinar Central with some of the audience questions. I'll start with the first one. What about Start Engine and Seed Invest as competitors, especially since Start Engine just did the Elio Reg A Plus deal?
Joseph, you want to handle that?
You bet. Fantastic question. Those are actually not competitors to CommunityLeader. Both of them are examples of potential clients of CommunityLeader. They are individual companies that are soliciting and selling securities just like our clients. So somebody who had an alternative offering to Seed Invest or Crowd Funder or any of the 2,700 other crowdfunding websites out there, if they wanted to launch their own and they didn't want to invest millions of dollars in building their own infrastructure, they would come to us. And we would build them a private white-labeled version so that they could quickly, cost-effectively, and in full compliance come to market. We could talk in far greater detail about the competitive advantages of why a company would want to compete with any of the different crowd funding type sites out there. But we can do that at a later point. Let me be really clear about one thing. Our market is not only the crowd investing. It is all private and exempt securities. It's Reg D, it's Reg S, it's Reg A, it's the new regulation crowdfunding, and that's only in the United States. I invite you to go look at one of our clients, Into.com, which is an Israeli-based real estate company that is selling securities in accordance with the small private markets exemption in Israel. It's a worldwide market of any type of private securities transactions. Anybody who is in the business of soliciting and selling private securities is going to be migrating online, and we're the investment operating system to do that.
I have another question as follow-up. Have you applied to become a formal portal provider under the new FINRA rules?
Joseph?
FINRA's current rules are to approve a regulated intermediary. They do not currently have a process for approving the software of those intermediaries. Each FINRA entity, whether it's a licensed broker-dealer or a regulated registered intermediary for regulation crowdfunding, will develop their own systems, and on a case-by-case basis will have those approved by their FINRA regulator. Many of our clients are, in fact, FINRA-regulated agencies who use our software, just like U.S. Capital Partners. And one of the very first of the FINRA-approved intermediaries for the regulation crowdfunding space is one of our clients as well.
Excellent. Craig, any more questions?
One last question. Can you elaborate more on the extent of the beta program?
I'm sorry, could you, on the extent of the data program or the beta program?
The beta program.
Yep, that's a great question. So we consider the last 4 years really a beta period of interactively developing, designing to meet the client's needs, finding out what's working, finding out what's not working. In the third and fourth quarter of last year, we let many clients go as we really focused on those that would be able to provide margin and had sustainability as a business. So the beta period over the last 4 years, much of which the data is available in our data room on the funding website, was really about us figuring out what would work and what wouldn't work in this space. We made the mistakes already. We've been knocked down and beat around and watched many of our competitors go out of business. And now we're ready to come to market and for you as an investor to be able to take advantage of that.
Excellent. Joseph, thank you so much. Anyone who is interested and would like to get in touch with us, we will be following up with an email rather quickly. And again, thank you very much for your time. Joseph,
Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking and working with each of you.
Thank you. Goodbye.